Welcome to the Year 9 Information Evening. My name's Mrs. Wright and I'm Assistant Head Teacher with responsibility for curriculum. Normally we'd be inviting you into the building so that you could come to a face-to-face presentation with myself, Mr. Holmwood, Mrs. Sullivan, the Year 9 Year Leader, and also Mrs. Small, the Year 9 Progress Leader. But due to our restrictions at the moment, I'm going to go through this presentation with you online. So as you are well aware, your child this year has started their bridging year, which means they've already chosen their GCSE subjects for the coming year, taking them all up to year 11. All students will study language and literature for GCSE English, meaning they get 2 qualifications. Maths, Life Skills and RE, which is a short course, that means it's half a GCSE. PE, either the combined science or the triple science, and then their GCSE preferences, which could be a humanities, a language, an arts-based subject, or a social science-based subject. So on this screen, there are the levels for the qualification. We've got the old GCSEs in comparison with the new GCSEs, which we've been running now for a few years. So you've got the level 9, which is above an A star, and then the baseline grades, kind of the 4 and the 5, which would make up a level C, a 6 would be a B, a 7 would be an A, and then an 8 would kind of be an A star. So if you look at the level 4, that would be considered a good pass for a level 2 qualification, which your GCSEs and your BTEC are. So as I previously said, the level 2 qualifications are what we would call the GCSEs, and you have the GCSEs levelled from a level 9 to a level 4. If students are achieving between a level 3 and a level 1, it would be considered a level 1 qualification. We are hoping that students will therefore get enough relevant qualifications to either take them up to the level 2 level, or if they want to study A levels, then that would be a level 3 qualification. And you can see there's various routes and various ladders that students can go on and excel in their education in lots and lots of different ways. And if students are expected to stay in education until they are 18, they can either study A levels or access courses or careers with apprenticeship training within them, or college. So there are lots and lots of opportunities, and there will be advice available for all students through our careers advisor, Mrs. Harris, within school, as they go through years 10 and year 11. To really understand the curriculum, on our website, on the Shenley Brook End website, you will be able to find what we call curriculum maps. The curriculum maps are designed so that it takes you through the whole year of what your child will be studying throughout their bridging year, and you will also be able to find curriculum maps on there for year 10 and year 11 to really understand what they're doing at different points in different subjects. You can discuss this with your child at home and then see whether or not they're able to discuss what they're learning within school with you, but it should give you a really clear overview of actually what we are doing in school in order to extend your child's learning. We also have what we would call a curriculum journey, and these are something that we've been working on this year. This is our kind of longer term vision for curriculum within the school. On the screen at the moment, there's an English version, and it takes you through a journey, so all the way through from year 7 all the way up to year 11, and students should be able to look at this along with you and kind of reflect on what they would have learned previously, and then to understand how that's taken them on to learn something in the future. And on there as well, it should have our skills that students should be trying to pick up across all different subjects within the curriculum. So a zoomed in version for you here. So for instance, in year 9, you can see they're looking at reading skills. They're doing that through their literature. They've got some creativity going on. There is also kind of fiction. So you can see how each curriculum journey will be able to explore the curriculum in more depth for you to see how one year builds upon another. So new this year, we've got something called the Badgers, which you may have heard your child discussing at home. And the Badgers is going to be replacing our attitudes within school. So we have be respectful, always on time, dress correctly, get ready, engage and listen, respond and succeed. Now the Badgers is called so, obviously, because the badger is the logo on Shenley Brook End, and we're trying to get students just to be a little bit more badger-like. So these are the qualities that not only are going to equip them well in school, but also really good life skills for students that will hopefully equip them to the world of work when they go on to leave Shenley Brook End School. So Rewards and awards for this year. So students will still be able to attain flight miles. Now, previously, staff have used their little stamp to stamp in the learning passport, and actually, we're not going to be doing that this year. They will be awarded and added straight on to Go for Schools, which I'll come on to in just a moment. And this is for demonstrating fantastic skills and knowledge and kind of going above and beyond. Students can get up to 3 flight miles per lesson. We also have this year reward postcards. This was something that was given out last year as well. So they're a bit like gold dust. We don't get many of them. They look a little bit like this. And actually the reward postcards are worth 10 flight miles. So this is something that goes way above and beyond, and for something that students do that is quite spectacular. Now, as staff, we don't get given many of those. So if your child comes home with a praise postcard or award postcard, they really have done something wonderful within school. We then have our Badger expectations, which goes back to those qualities on the previous slide. So students who are consistently meeting the Badger's expectations will be rewarded, and in their learning passport there is a Badger grid. If they manage to fill up 80% of the grid, then they again get 10 flight miles on the Monday from their form tutor. And this week we're having a real push on uniform. So if students are turning up really well dressed to their lesson, they will get a stamp for every lesson that they are dressed well in. Next week it could be to be on time, the week after it could be to have the correct equipment. So as long as they are following those expectations, they should be able to attain quite a few flight miles with the Badger expectations. We also have positive on call. So this is used when a student, again, goes really above and beyond in a lesson. And we have members of staff that are on call every lesson, either for negative behaviour or for positive behaviour. So as a member of teaching staff, I could call the positive on call. They would come to my lesson. I could explain, actually, this child has done this really, really well. This is what I want to show you. And they will come with a scratch card that the student will be able to scratch off, and then they can win a spot prize. It might be some flight miles, it could be a gift voucher, it could be some stationery. But again, if your child comes home with a positive on call, they really have done something wonderful. So please make sure you praise them at home. And then finally, we are going back into golden time. So a very small number of students consistently showing great attitude each term, evidenced by their flight miles, will be given an afternoon off timetable to do something fun and exciting. This generally tends to be the students with the top amount of flight miles within the year group, and we will choose different students each half term. Now, the learning passports have changed slightly this year, and on the screen at the moment is a open page of what the learning passport would look like. So students should still be recording their homework in their learning passport as kind of a visual reminder of what they are receiving and what they need to get done each week. You will also see that there is a grid there for consistently meeting the Badger's expectations. And as I said, if the students are turning up and they're being respectful, engaging in listen, they're responding, they're well dressed, they're equipped, ready to learn, then they will get a stamp. And if 80% of this grid is filled out, then they will get 10 flight miles from their tutor for the following week. Below the Badger, we then have the consequences. And again, this would be marked into a student's passport, and it could be to do with an N1 or an N2 or an N3. And as you should already be aware, that is whether or not students are not meeting expectations and they kind of go higher in their severity. And that should also be recorded on Go for School. So if you're not managing to check your child's learning passport, it should be recorded on Go for Schools for you. However, I would really appreciate it if each week you could have a look at your child's learning passport and sign the learning passport to see that you've looked at it and had a discussion with your child. It really helps the homeschool communication. So Flight Mile Towers this year, most of our students do a fantastic job in school. They really do work incredibly hard, and we are very, very proud of them. They consistently go above and beyond, arrive on time, ready to learn, and do undertake a range of fantastic work in a whole host of lessons. So if your child achieves 150 flight miles, they will get a bronze reward. Silver is 250 flight miles, gold is 300, and platinum is 400. And at each level, they would get a different, I suppose, prize at each one, whether or not that's a phone call from their head of year, or a phone call from an assistant head teacher, or from the head teacher. And then On top of that, in Year 9, we are hoping at the end of the year, COVID permitting, to be able to run an extracurricular trip to a theme park, which we're going to be doing for a range of year groups. So in Year 9, students would need a minimum of 250 flight miles and no more than 12 negative points to be able to go on the reward trip. So hopefully, they do like a roller coaster or two. So it's not all about the education here. We're trying to look at the holistic side of a student, so the whole rounded individual. And part of that is to try and really embed leadership qualities within themselves so that they can get involved in shaping and leading generally. As of course, we are all here for the students and it is the students' school and they should be able to shape the direction of the school. So for extended learning, we have Student Voice, Sixth Form Cabinet and School Council. So I know that Mr Mangan has been launching Student Voice again this week, and if your child wants to get their voice heard in a really positive forum, then that's a really good opportunity. Duke of Edinburgh Award, we launched the bronze with Year 9, so that should be coming up soon, and then we have the silver and the gold levels. We have sports leaders, diversity and equalities leaders. There should be trips and events happening throughout the year. We have a range of extracurricular clubs that we're hoping to restart at October half term, and Miss Pearson, our extracurricular team leader, she has been sorting out a range of extracurricular clubs for a range of year groups and getting staff to sign up and design clubs. As I said, they should be starting after the October half term. And then we also have the Arts Award bronze, silver and gold levels, and in Year 9 your child will have the opportunity to do the bronze award. So at home, students should be doing some work at home as well, so home learning. Now the home learning is to develop the skills and the knowledge that they have done in school but independently. This will range from kind of a few hours a week up to about 6 or 7 hours a week. And homework could be to prepare for a lesson, to consolidate learning already happened in class, or to collect sources. So not all homework is written. It could involve reading, watching a TV programme, individual research or revision, making a model, or attending an extracurricular club. This year as well, without the use of mobile phones in school, it's really important that your child is prepared to bring the homework within school or to upload it onto Teams assignments, which I'll come on to in just a moment, as they will not be able to get their phone out during lessons to show teachers that they have done their work. So your child should hopefully be quite familiar with Microsoft Teams after the live lesson provision that the staff managed to put on during the lockdowns last year. There are 4 options to access Microsoft Teams, and Miss Malone has put together a parent handbook which is published on the website. So I'm going to give you a very brief whistle-stop tour. So you can access Microsoft Teams through Microsoft 365 apps installed on Windows PC or Mac, Team application installed on a Windows PC or Mac, on a web browser, or on a smart device like an iPhone, an iPad or an Android device. And as I said, your child hopefully already knows how to access their team, and they would use their school email address and their school email password in order to access that. Now we're going to start using Teams more thoroughly this year, and part of that is we are going to start setting homework on Teams and uploading homework to Teams rather than using Go for Schools. So if your child was to load into Microsoft Teams, they would have lots and lots of different tabs, and each tab would be a different subject area. Once they click on those subject area, you would then be able to look down the side and you have somewhere that says assignments. So they would then go to the assignment and it would click on that little tab and it will bring up any homework that your child has been set by their subject teacher. If you are signed up as well with your email address, you should get a weekly communication from the school letting you know what assignments are due, which ones perhaps haven't been met, which ones have been resubmitted or asked to have some sort of development on. So it is really important that we have your up-to-date email address and telephone numbers so that we're able to keep this communication with you, and hopefully we can make sure that the homework that has been set in school is being understood at home and then deadlines met. And as I said, it's there to really consolidate learning and to look at where the gaps in knowledge are, or perhaps where we need to do a little bit more planning in school. To access a school email, you just need to go to office.com, so 365, and students will sign in with their school email address. Password is the same as their computer password or login in the school. And again, they can contact their teachers via email, and teachers may email back as well. We do ask that if students are contacting staff that they only use their school email, because then the service can be verified. And also staff should only be using their own school email to email your child with. So we're still going to be using Go for Schools this year, just not for homework setting. So on the page at the moment is the parent login. So hopefully, again, I keep saying hopefully, you will still have your login details, your email address that you registered with the school, and the password that you have set. Now, Go for Schools will be able to show you your child's timetable, and it will be able to show you along here whether or not they've been on time to lessons, whether they've been late, whether they've been absent from a lesson, and you can check that by the little green slash line. If they've been late, it will be an L, or if they've not been there, it will be an M. And then below is also the detailed progress. So any types of assessment that have happened in school will be loaded onto Go for Schools, and you will be able to see that on the student's homepage. It will also be able to show you what their target is, what their working at grade is, and then the forecast grade. You might see that the forecast grade is different to the target grade. The target grade is set by their CAT scores that they do in Year 7, and the forecast grade is if a student is working along the same level at the moment, what we as teaching staff think that they will be able to accomplish, and that could be higher or lower than a Key Stage 4 target. On Go for Schools as well, on your child's homepage, you'll also be able to look at the detailed attendance, looking at attendance to lessons, number of sessions, any lates that occur and any absences. You will also see below that there is a behaviour section, and the behaviour will list any negative behaviours that's happened in school, but also positive behaviours. So you'll be able to have a look on there for things like flight miles, and any positive notes from teachers. And it would be really good if you were able to check Go for Schools regularly. And again, it's a really clear indicator of what's happening in school. So in summary, at home, to support your child into getting into a daily routine, setting set times in order to undertake their homework assignments that would occur on Teams, making sure your child has a good place to work, away from kind of TVs or any loud noises if possible, or away from their phones. If you could get into conversations with your child, asking specific questions, not necessarily what did you do today, but perhaps ask more direct questions about what happened in an English lesson, or what were they learning specifically in a science lesson. To get involved in the work through the curriculum maps, or to be able to have a look at textbooks or notes, or perhaps to look over a homework when it's finished, or to read something as a kind of a first set of eyes before it's submitted. Please ask your child to explain parts of it to you, and if you don't necessarily understand it yourself, do not worry. I've become an expert during lockdown at doing kind of Key Stage 2 English work, and actually it's the conversation that's probably more important to the child than you giving the right or the wrong answers. If you can also speak to your child to find out if there are any issues or any problems with the subject, fingers crossed there won't be. If you do find that issues or problems arise, you can either contact, as I said, Mrs. Sullivan, the year leader, Mrs. Small, the progress leader, or subject teachers or form tutor. So there's a whole host of people within school that would help you if there are any issues or problems. You can always access your own copy of the scheme of work or the curriculum map online, but start to use some of the language from it. Ensure attendance is as high as possible, as if students' attendance dips off, they are going to be missing vital things within school. And please show that you're interested in the education, and they will take the lead from you. If you assume that a subject is not important, or if a lesson is not important, then they really do pick up on those cues at home. So finally, encourage your children to do the following. Read and act on feedback from teachers. We spend a long time marking, and actually the feedback is there and it's geared and it's personalised for your child's learning. So to read it and act on it is really crucial to their success. Balance work and relaxation. I think we've all learned a lot during the lockdown, but we can't work on computers all of the time, and actually relaxation is really key for positive mental health. Encourage your child to develop their own opinions. Write deadlines in their learning passport. It will really help with submitting work on time. Know where and when they work best. Do reading without being told to, so read for pleasure if possible. Work with other students and a range of different students, and to learn how to prioritise tasks. So perhaps not doing their favourite homework first or their favourite topic first, but doing the piece of work that's due in first. So as I said already, your child is central to their education, but there are lots of people that are there to help. So if you have any questions or any queries throughout the next year or their time at Shenley Brook School, they can talk to their peers, they can talk to their form tutor, or you can talk to their form tutor. They should of course have you at home. They've got other staff in school, they've got their subject teachers, progress leader and year leader. We have student services through the hub, we have student services through the year leader, we also have SFL, and there is the extended learning team, so those clubs that will be running after school. Hopefully your child will feel confident if they have an issue to talk to you or to talk to somebody in school. There should always be somebody that they should be able to approach in the event of a problem or a query. And then to do with balance, so we have our BBB, our Belong, Believe, Become for behaviour, which is also our badges. They should be coming equipped with their learning passport. If they are doing all of the right things, they will be able to get flight miles, which of course is then instant feedback for them. If they're getting flight miles, they must be doing the right things, attitude must be fantastic, and then be able to discuss about their learning. Thinking about their learning behaviours, not just in the classroom, but in the corridors and also at lunch times and outside of school as well. Read for enjoyment, and then hopefully our children will become our success within school and in the wider community. So to end our presentation this evening, we have some dates for you. So the first progress check, which is when you will get a detailed report on how your child is doing in lots of the subjects or all of the subjects, will be the week commencing the 18th of October. That will be ready for you to have a look at. There is a second progress check on the week commencing the 28th of February. We have Parents' Evening on the 10th of March. Year 9 exam week will be the week commencing the 29th of May, and their third and final progress check of the year will be the week commencing the 20th of June. Many thanks for listening to my presentation. I hope you made it all the way to the end. As I said, apologies that this could not be done in person. Hopefully next time we have to do an information evening, you will of course be invited into the building. I bid you farewell. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you so much. Bye.